Hello students, today again we are continuing with biology class 12 new syllabus chapter number 11, that is enhancement of food production. Okay, this is part 6, that means this is the 6th lecture of this chapter that we are studying, that is enhancement of food production. In that there are 3 parts, that means small 3 chapters are included in this chapter. First chapter was enhancement of food production, enhancement in food production. Second, that we have completed completely. Second part of the chapter was animal husbandry, but that is not included as per the reduced syllabus. And the third part of the chapter is microbes in human welfare. So today we will start with the topic microbes in human welfare. You can consider this as a new chapter. This is actually a new chapter. There is no correlation between enhancement of food production and microbes in human welfare. Okay. So we will study now microbes in human welfare. Okay. When I say microbes, what do you mean by microbes? Microbes are the organisms which cannot be seen by our naked eyes. Okay, what are microorganisms? Microorganisms are small organisms, small microscopic organisms which we cannot see with our naked eyes. We have to see the microorganisms under the microscope. Okay, we have to see the microorganisms under the microscope. We cannot see microorganisms with our naked eyes. Okay. Microbes are found in all habitat. We can see microorganisms in all habitat. They may be protozoans, fungi, bacteria, virus, okay, nematodes, etc. Algae, all are included under microorganisms. Okay, and these microorganisms are useful to human beings. Okay, all these microorganisms and their products exhibit beneficial activities which we are using for the welfare of humans in regard to food, health, industry, agriculture, medicine, biocontrol, etc. Okay, all the microorganisms are used in different fields. Okay, they are used in daily life in household products also. These microorganisms are used variously in food, feed technology, industry, waste utilization, energy, etc. We will be studying among the different uses, we will study the use of microbes in the different aspects such as household production, industrial production, sewage treatment, biogas production, biocontrol agent and biofertilizers. There are many uses of microorganism, but we are going to focus on these aspects. Okay, so starting with the first one, that is microbes in food preparation. Okay, microbes in food preparation. We can say it as food microbiology. We can say as food microbiology means where all we are using the microorganisms in food preparation. We can say that the development of biotechnology occurred in 2 phases. Okay, biotechnology's development has been occurred in 2 phases. That is, first one is traditional phase till 1971 and modern phase after 1970. First phase is traditional phase that was existing till the year 1971. And the second phase is modern phase that began after 1970. Okay, this traditional phase or traditional biotechnology is based on the fermentation principle by using fermenting bacteria. Okay, traditional biotechnology was based on the fermentation principle by using the fermenting bacteria. These were used in the preparation of varieties of indigenous fermented food products. When I say fermented food products, one by one we will study the fermented food products. What are fermented food products? Fermented food products are like dosa, dhokla, idli. Okay, that all are known as fermented food products. Cookies, all are fermented products. Okay, so specially we are going to focus on dosa, idli and dhoklas. So first one is dosa, idli and dhokla. This dosa, idli, dhokla are fermented products and they are produced due to the activity of bacteria. Okay, how are they fermented? They are fermented because of the activities of bacteria. They are prepared, this idli, dosa and dhoklas are prepared by rice and black gram. We use rice and black gram to make idli dosa. Okay, and the bacteria such as airborne leuconostoc and streptococcus are involved. During the preparation of dosa, dhokla and idli, during the process of fermentation, the microorganisms that are involved are leuconostoc and streptococcus. Okay, and remember one thing, carbon dioxide produced during fermentation causes the puffing up of the duff. Okay, you might have seen the duff that is raised. Okay, initially the duff is very small, but when we make it, when we keep it for overnight, then the duff, normally you might have seen in your home that when your parents are making idlis or dosas, what they do, they soak the rice and bengal gram overnight. Okay, they grind it and keep it for overnight. And why they are keeping it for overnight? For the process of fermentation, so that duff will undergo the process of fermentation, and then after overnight keeping, it is rising up. So why this rising up is seen? This is because of carbon dioxide that is produced during the process of fermentation that causes the puffing up of duff. Okay, duff and bread, and duff is made by fermentation of bacteria. Already I told you. The bread is made by fermentation of baker yeast, Saccharomyces cerevisiae, and it is also used in making idli, dosa, etc. Okay, so main you are going to study about dosa, dhokla and idli and the microorganisms. What you have to study in this part? You have to study is the name of microorganism. That is, which microorganism is used, is involved in dosa, dhokla, idli is leuconostoc and streptococcus. Two things, two names you have to remember it. Leuconostoc and streptococcus are involved in the preparation of dosa, dhokla and idlis. Okay, so next is microbes as a source of food. So when I say microbes as a source of food, what does that mean? That means that there are some of the microorganisms that we are consuming directly. Some of the microbes or their fruiting bodies are directly used as source of food as they are rich in vitamins and proteins. We are consuming some of the microorganisms because they are rich in vitamins and proteins. Okay, the term SCP or single cell protein denotes dead and dried mass of microbes like bacteria, algae, mold and yeast. Okay, SCP single cell protein means dead and dried cells of microorganisms like bacteria, algae, mold and yeast. This SCP single cell protein is a rich source of protein and it is made with the help of bacteria, algae, molds and yeast. When many of the boys, when they join gym or any of the activities when they are doing, okay, at that time they are suggested by their masters, gym masters, that they have to use Protein-X powder. What is that Protein-X powder? Protein-X powder contains SCP, that is single cell protein, which is nothing but it is made with the help of microorganisms like bacteria, algae, mold and yeast. So from that we can conclude that microorganisms are rich source of food. Okay, they are very rich source of protein. Sometimes when young children are suffering from deficiency of proteins, at that time also they are suggested by doctors to take this dried powder. Okay, that is very rich in protein content. Okay, now sometimes when we say fungi as food, directly there is one fungi that we are using it as a food is mushrooms. We are consuming mushrooms as our food. Some mushrooms and truffles are directly used as food. They belong to higher fungi. Okay, they produce large, fleshy, fruiting bodies which are edible. Mushrooms are producing large, fleshy, fruiting bodies which are edible. That means we can eat those parts. Okay. Fruiting bodies are sugar free, fat free, low caloried, but rich in proteins, vitamins, minerals, and amino acids. So, it is very much beneficial to eat those fruiting bodies. That means mushrooms. Okay, mushrooms are sugar free, fat free, low caloried, but they are very rich in proteins, vitamins, minerals, and amino acids. So these days all the people are preferring such kind of food only, which are having low calories, fat free. Okay. But they should contain good amount of protein, vitamins, minerals. So all these qualities are included in mushroom. So we can consume mushroom as a food. Mushroom is nothing but they are fungi, they are microorganisms. Okay. Next is dairy product. Okay, next is dairy product. When I say dairy product, what do you mean by dairy product? Okay, dairy product means it includes milk, curd, yogurt, buttermilk. Okay, all the things that are made with the help of milk are included in dairy industry. The first example, I cannot say the example, but the curd that is formed by adding milk. Okay, curd, you know all curd. Okay, how we are making curd? We add a small amount of curd in a milk at the beginning. That small amount of curd that is added to the milk in the beginning is called as starter or inoculum. Okay, it is called as starter or inoculum, and it contains large amount of lactobacillus bacteria, lactic acid bacteria, LAB, lactic acid bacteria. Okay, lactic acid bacteria is present in the starter that multiplies in suitable temperature and converts milk into curd. Okay, curd is formed, listen again, curd is formed by adding small amount of curd to milk. This small amount of curd is known as starter or inoculum. Large amount of this lactic acid bacteria is present in starter or inoculum, and it multiplies faster. It contains millions of lactic acid bacteria. Starter or inoculum contains millions of lactic acid bacteria. Okay, so we will see the process. What is happening? Lactic acid bacteria like lactobacillus. Okay, lactobacillus are added to the milk. First step, what will happen? It ferments lactose sugar of milk. There is a lactose sugar that is present in the milk. So this lactobacillus ferments the lactose sugar of milk to lactic acid. That lactic acid causes coagulation and partial digestion of milk protein casein. Okay, it causes the digestion, coagulation of partial digestion of milk protein casein. Okay, milk is changed into curd, yogurt and cheese. Different forms of milk we can convert it into curd, yogurt and cheese. One by one we will study the examples of this dairy product and their microorganisms that are involved in the products. First one is curd. When I say curd, Indian curd is prepared by inoculating milk with Lactobacillus acidophilus. Okay, how is curd made? It is made with the help of inoculating. Okay, inocular. I have already told. Inoculum is added. Okay, starter is added. And what is that inoculum? That inoculating milk is, it is milk with, inoculation is done with the help of Lactobacillus acidophilus. This bacteria is added to the milk and then that milk converts into curd. It also checks the growth of disease causing microorganisms. Okay, next example is yogurt. When I say yogurt, how is this yogurt prepared? It is produced by curdling milk with the help of Streptococcus and Thermophilus. Streptococcus thermophilus and Lactobacillus bulgaris. Okay, there are two bacteria that are involved in the preparation of yogurt. Yogurt is prepared by curdling milk with the help of Streptococcus thermophilus and Lactobacillus bulgaris. When the milk is curdled with the help of these two bacteria, yogurt is prepared. Third example is buttermilk. What is buttermilk? How is it prepared? It is the acidulated liquid left after the churning of butter from the curd. What is happening when curd is there? We churn the curd. After churning of the curd, the liquid part that is remaining, we can say it is acid. It is acidic part, acidulated liquid left, that is after the churning of curd or butter from the curd, it is called as buttermilk. Okay. Next is cheese. When I say cheese, what do you mean by cheese? The milk is coagulated with lactic acid bacteria and curd formed is filtered to separate whey. Okay, the first part in this cheese formation is milk is coagulated with lactic acid bacteria. When we will coagulate the milk with lactic acid bacteria, curd will be formed, and that curd formed is filtered to separate whey. The solid mass is then ripened with the growth of mold that develops flavor in it. Okay, this curd that is left over after the separation is ripened with the help of mold. Okay, mold is again a bacteria, microorganism that develops flavor in the cheese. Different varieties of cheese are known by their characteristic texture. Okay, there are different varieties of cheese that are available in the market, and different varieties of cheese are known by their characteristic texture, flavor, taste, which are developed by different specific microbes. Okay, different flavors, different tastes are developed in the cheese with the help of different specific microorganisms. Okay, the microorganisms are giving different flavors, different textures to the cheese. Now we will see different types of cheese. Okay, what are different types of cheese? First one is Roquefort cheese. Roquefort cheese. It is ripened by blue-green mold and Penicillium roqueforti. Okay, this cheese is ripened by blue-green molds and Penicillium roqueforti. Second one is Camembert cheese. Okay, Camembert cheese. What do you mean by Camembert cheese? It is ripened by Penicillium camemberti. Okay, this is ripened by Penicillium camemberti. Then Swiss cheese. Swiss cheese, you can see here Swiss cheese. It is having too much amount of holes in it. Such type of cheese are known as Swiss cheese. The large holes in Swiss cheese are due, see these large holes in the Swiss cheese are due to the production of large amount of carbon dioxide by a bacterium named Propionibacterium shermani. Okay, Propionibacterium shermani. So this cheese are having too much amount of large holes, and these holes are produced due to the large amount of carbon dioxide that are produced by a bacteria named Propionibacterium shermani. Okay, so shermani. Okay, here spelling can be SHERMANNI, or you can write ARMMANNI. Anyways, it will be correct. It will be given correct. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you for today. We will continue this chapter in our next lecture. Okay.